Iran's security chief Ali Larijani tweeted this: "I do not see death as anything but happiness, nor life with the oppressors as anything but torment." About 20 hours later, Israel killed him, landing the biggest blow to Iran after the assassination of its supreme leader.
I have just been updated by the Chief of Staff that the Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council Larijani and the head of the Basij, Iran's central repression apparatus, Soleimani, who is responsible for the massacre of the protesters, were eliminated last night.
Ali Larijani was a philosopher, a politician, a security chief, but most importantly, he was Iran's Renaissance man. Just as the news of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei's death started trickling in, he emerged from his 4-decade career to take charge. New to the world, but an old, trusted friend of the Ayatollahs and military men of Iran. There was no chance of him becoming the next supreme leader, and the more you get to know him, you realize that that wasn't even his dream. Here are 3 reasons Ali Larijani became a wartime leader, and the same reason that got him killed. First, Larijani's influence was boundless. One brother, Sadiq Larijani, headed Iran's judiciary. Another, Mohammad Javed Larijani, became a senior diplomat and an advisor. But Ali Larijani did not follow the same clerical path. During the Iran-Iraq War, he served in the Revolutionary Guards in various roles. He wasn't a battlefield commander, but he was embedded in the revolutionary structure as it hardened. In the 1990s, he became one of the regime's media architects. He headed the Islamic Republic of Iran Broadcasting, which is the state broadcaster. For a whole decade, he controlled the country's primary narrative machine, which continues to follow till today. In 2005, President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad appointed him Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council. Then in 2008, he returned as the Speaker of the Parliament, a role he would hold for 12 long years. A year after leaving the parliament, he attempted to run for president, a journey that would be cut short after the Guardian Council saw him too much of a reformist. But that did not put an end to his career. After the June 12-day war last year, the former supreme leader made him the Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council. And he soon became the eyes and ears of the most powerful man of Iran. He was a jack of all trades, a tag that defined his final weeks. If you want to watch a detailed video on it, here is something I wrote 2 weeks ago. You can check it out by clicking on the top right corner. Alright, the second reason. The West grossly misunderstands Iran. Iran's system isn't just clerical, it's bureaucratic and security driven. In wartime, the balance tilts hard towards the security state. Many had dismissed Trump and Bibi's decision to kill the 86-year-old supreme leader as symbolic. A frail man like him, who had had multiple battles with prostate cancer, was not going to shape the Iran of tomorrow. Then his son, Mujtaba Khamenei, was named as the supreme leader, but his appointment signals the return of monarchy, authority inherited on paper. People within the country say the jury is still out on his popularity. Meanwhile, Larijani became the voice issuing warnings, shaping retaliations, and signaling strategy to the outside world. In many ways, he overshadowed even the new supreme leader.
Today's armed forces are determined not to give up until Iran achieves sufficient independence, and they will not let the enemy repeat this trick. It must be made clear once and for all that the Americans cannot force the Iranian people.
And finally, the third reason. Larijani was the off-ramp Trump desperately needed to end the war. Experts who we have been speaking to have been warning that the US and Israel's goals aren't aligned anymore. Trump increasingly wants to end the war, whereas Netanyahu wants the war to continue. And killing Larijani is part of the same Israeli strategy.
My understanding is that Israel would like to continue the war and try to eliminate and destroy as much as possible of the Iranian regime and state. So how can Washington and Tehran put an end to this war by claiming that the terms of the ceasefire or whatever arrangement is agreed upon are positive to them? It's not clear at all.
Larijani became a hardliner in his final years, but he wasn't always an America hater. In fact, his daughter lived and worked in the US. She was an assistant professor at Emory University Medical School in Atlanta before she was dismissed. Diplomats who are familiar with the 67-year-old say that Larijani was someone who combined brutality with an openness to dialogue, in contrast with other hardliners of Iran who simply refused to engage with the Western leaders. He served as Iran's chief nuclear negotiator, attempting to resolve the country's nuclear dispute with the West between 2005 to 2007. He was in fact also tasked with advancing negotiations with China, which led to a 25-year cooperation agreement in 2021. Even in the current war, in the first few hours of Israeli and American bombs dropping in Tehran, he pushed for talks to resume.
The sixth round of negotiations was also scheduled, and this, Mr. Trump, a couple of days, 1 or 2 days, a day before this military operation, said that yes, our negotiations are in the next 2 or 3 days, and Israel shouldn't attack, because if they attack, the negotiations will collapse. And I think he was deceitful and didn't do the right thing.
He also favored de-escalation with the Gulf countries. Not in the same quote-unquote apologetic way President Pezeshkian did, but he still wanted a one-on-one dialogue. So Israel killed the only visible off-ramp Trump could have used to end this war. While Iran promises to avenge his killing, a more pressing issue awaits the war. There are only few left in Iran who have a similar resume like Larijani, and none in the public forefront. So who can help Trump end this war in the Middle East? A war he had desperately promised he will not start in the beginning.
Everything is gone, their leaders are gone. I guess one of their top person was, they say, a lot of people say their actual top was killed yesterday, along with somebody else, who was responsible for the killing, the man that was responsible for the killing of 32,000 people over the last 2 weeks. He was in charge of the killing of protesters.
The last time we saw Larijani, he wasn't behind a desk. He was on the streets of Tehran at the Al-Quds Day rally, standing with the system, preparing for a long war. As his chapter abruptly comes to an end, he leaves the world with a warning of what's to come.
But if you make a mistake on the Iranian nuclear issue, you will force Iran to move towards this, because Iran must defend itself. You are doing this with your own hands. Iran does not want to do this. But anyway, when you put pressure, then this issue will find a secondary justification. Iran will have no choice. People will put pressure on the government that you have to do this for the security of the country.
Who's to say that this is a warning anymore? If a nuclear weapon is the only thing that keeps the US and Israel away, wouldn't Iran choose it? That's something to think about. Let us know what your thoughts are on the comments below. I'm Ananya. Thanks for watching.